Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3 and in your top stories at this hour.
We can't drop transformative legislation. If there are challenges, we fix. BBBE is a very important transformative legislation to empower.
Deputy President Paul Mashatile has reaffirmed the government's commitment to BBBE, saying it will be strengthened to drive inclusive growth.
Agree that workers must be given 5.5. Employers must bring that 0.5%, and we can have 766. We can close these negotiations.
A strike action is looming in the automotive sector as NUMSA has confirmed that it is now in possession of a strike certificate.
Gauteng's anti-gang unit has apprehended a 36-year-old suspect believed to be the mastermind behind the Westbury shooting incident.
And the alleged mastermind behind the mass shooting incident that left 2 teenagers dead and 5 others injured in Westbury, Johannesburg last week has been arrested. At the back of those headlines, it has just gone 8 o'clock. Good evening and welcome to Prime News on SABC 3. I am Paulette Nell. Great to be in your company this evening as we bring you up to speed with what's happening in and around your world. And this leads the bulletin tonight. Deputy President Paul Mashatile has reaffirmed the government's commitment to broad-based black economic empowerment, describing it as a vital tool for transforming South Africa's economy and uplifting previously disadvantaged communities. Speaking at the inaugural Youth Investment Indaba in Johannesburg, hosted by the National Youth Development Agency, Mashatile said BBBE will not only be retained but strengthened to drive inclusive growth and opportunity.
The government has started looking at most of this transformative legislation, including BBBE, with the intention to reinforce them, make them work better. So where there are challenges, we'll deal with them. The point I was making is that we can't drop transformative legislation. If there are challenges, we fix. BBBE is a very important transformative legislation to empower the previously disadvantaged people, and therefore it will be kept. It will be improved.
The Deputy President further added that a labour market that will effectively generate employment opportunities for young people, including those with no skills, must be created.
According to Stats SA, its first quarter release of 2025, 34% of all youth aged 15 to 24 years, which is more than 3.5 million young people, are disconnected from both the labour market and the education system. This means that a substantial cohort of young South Africans is estranged from the education and job sectors, confronting hazards such as social isolation and poverty. Among other things, these statistics should prompt us to reconsider our role in mobilizing various stakeholders and social partners to develop skills that meet the needs of the South African economy.
To this now, the High Court in Johannesburg has postponed the battle between the City of Johannesburg and the Socio-Economic Rights Institute, SERI, to Monday. While enforcing bylaws, the Johannesburg Metro recently booted traders off the streets in the inner city. SERI took the matter to court, saying it's a violation of the traders' rights to earn a living. Outside the court, hundreds of protesters filled the streets.
I'm a trader and I'm a mother and I'm also South African. I'm trading in Divila Street. So earlier this month, Metro, they came around 4 o'clock in the morning. They chased, like when we are starting to bring out the clothes and everything. They said we mustn't trade there because they want to clean the roads. So when they came back, They later came back to us and said, we are foreigners. That's why they are moving everybody there. And then they said we should go to their office and verify our papers. We went and do so. After verifying, they came back to us and say, no, it's not true. Everybody who's trading in the villas is a foreigner. And then we came out as a South African. That's why we are here now.
For more on this, we are now joined on the line by Joburg MMC for Safety and Security, Dr. Mgini Kwaku. Good evening and welcome, MMC. Maybe before we get to the reason for this initiative, please briefly clarify to us what the vetting process for this operation is.
No, thank you very much, Kale. Good evening to yourself and listeners. Basically, in terms of what's going on in the city of Johannesburg, we are reclaiming the city of Johannesburg and ensure that, there's law and order and it's clean. And one of the things that we are doing is to ensure that there's responsible informal trading. As an MMC or public safety deployed by the economic freedom fighters, we support the informal traders. And but they must make sure that there's responsibility in terms of trading. You can't be just trading anywhere, because in the area of the villas where the matter is sub judice, it's actually very chaotic. It's a disaster waiting to really happen. And it's one of the areas of the city that has not declared as a place where trading can happen. Because under there's like some servitudes that needs to be done and all of that. But I don't want to really comment too much on the court case. I can actually, when the judgment is done, I can even dwell more what led to where we are at this point in time.
MMC, perhaps let's make it a bit more clear. What is the reason for removing them off of the street, especially on the villas?
Right. Look, at this point in time, the villas area is that there's going to be a construction that's going to happen there, the maintenance of the underground piping. It's quite extremely dangerous. And the guys from GRA have been at arm's length in terms of really trying to avoid what happened at Liliengoy. And secondly is that there's just a lot of people that were in that area concentrated in a very short space. And then according to the EMS, that actually was a disaster really waiting to really happen. And also, in terms of the area as well, there is actually quite high crime rate that is there. And also because the city now has rolled out the permits, with everyone has been encouraged to go and get permits so that they can be allocated a place to trade. So that area has been a center of disaster for a very long time. We went as a city to go and fix it, ensure that there is responsible trading, and also the underground servitudes are serviced. But the problem is that there's a lot of people that were in the area. We could not actually ensure that the area is demarcated and you get access to the cables underground, to the pipe, the gas line underground. So that's what you wanted to really do as the city. And the guy, they took it the other way, that we don't want them to trade and all of that. We are for the people. There's no jobs. We support them. And that's why we said to them that we've got the permits rollout system. Wait for us. We're going to give you permits. You are going to sell again. That's all.
MMC, perhaps, let me jump in there quickly. The Socio-Economic Rights Institute says that this move undermines the informal traders' rights to make an honest living. Is the city following bylaws on this? And perhaps make it clear to us what those are.
The bylaws is very simple. It's to saying that before you can trade in the city, you must have a permit. And we have indicated to our people that the rollout system has been, the system of permits has been rolled out, and the areas in the city that are demarcated in terms of you can trade there and you can't trade there as well. We've been saying that to all our people. As if you go to Bree now, most of the people now, they've got smart cards. There are areas, if you go there to De Villiers, there are areas that have been demarcated. So we are for the people. SERI is not for the people. It's not like saying that all the people are low. As I told you that I'm the MMC deployed by the Economic Freedom Fighters, I'm always be on the side of the people. But the thing is that when we do trading, we must do it formally. It must be ordered.
MMC, we're going to have to leave it there for now.
Yes.
Sorry to interject. We unfortunately have run out of time. We're going to have to park it here for now. That was a Joburg MMC for Safety and Security, Dr. Mgcini Chwaku. All right, we're now going to quickly take an ad break. For more news, stay on the other side of this. Welcome back to this now. A strike action is looming in the automotive sector as the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa, NUMSA, has confirmed that it is now in possession of a strike certificate. This after rejecting an employer offer of 7% in the first year and around 5.5% in the outer years of a multi-year agreement.
The National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa has been bleeding members in various sectors and says the Section 189 process to retrench has been abused. The union has taken issue with developments at major companies such as Aspen Pharmacare, ArcelorMittal and at Ford SA. General Secretary Evan Jim says they'll approach the Labour Court.
They must not retrench any single worker, and that fixed-term contracts must be made to be permanent, and we will be filing that application today so that we can challenge the current retrenchment because it has no basis from where we are sitting.
The union has threatened to strike in the automotive sector over a stalemate with 7 original equipment manufacturers represented by the Automobile Manufacturers Employers Organization. NUMSA started the negotiations at 9%, with the latest offer from the employer sitting at 7% for the first year and 5.5% for the following 2 years. Consumer inflation is currently sitting at just over 3%. Jim says this is rejected. The union has now obtained a certificate to strike.
What we're rejecting from employers is 7%, 5.5, 5.5. We're happy with 7% in the first year. We can live with that. But we do not agree that workers must be given 5.5, 5.5. Employers must bring that 0.5%, and we can have 7, 6, 6. We can close these negotiations with the current package that we have been able to negotiate. That's the bone of contention that we are fighting about.
The original equipment manufacturers, including Toyota, VW SA, BMW SA and Mercedes-Benz, which are represented by the Automobile Manufacturers Employers Organization, employ more than 30,000 workers. NUMSA has challenged the companies to disclose their financials for transparency. The union also wants National Treasury to intervene, accusing some companies in the private security sector of defrauding workers by deducting money for medical insurance and pension fund, but failing to pay these amounts over to the respective service providers.
I'm Katla Kologodi for SABC News in Johannesburg.
The alleged mastermind behind the mass shooting incident in Westbury, Johannesburg, has been arrested. The 36-year-old was arrested in Westbury today. This brings to 2 the number of suspects arrested in connection with the shooting that left 2 teenagers dead and 5 others injured last week.
A tragic incident that left not only the families of the deceased in pain, but the Westbury community is still reeling in shock and fearing for their lives due to what police described as a gang-related attack. Police say the teenagers, who are between the ages of 13 and 19 years, were approached by 4 suspects on foot, 3 of them carrying firearms, and without saying a word, the suspects opened fire on the victims and then fled the scene. On Wednesday, members of the anti-gang unit made a breakthrough, arresting a 20-year-old suspect at a high school in Diepkloof, Soweto. He made his first appearance in court on Friday before the case was postponed.
I have no objection to say, Your Worship, the 6th of November, Your Worship, is suitable. Also, maybe, Your Worship, for a possible bail application.
Police say they have arrested the suspect in Westbury on Friday.
Gauteng's anti-gang unit has apprehended a 36-year-old suspect believed to be the mastermind behind the Westbury shooting incident. He was arrested on 31 October 2025. He faces 2 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. He is due to appear before the Johannesburg Magistrate Court on Monday, 3 November 2025.
The family of the victims were not present in court on Friday as they were attending a funeral of one of the victims of this mass shooting. Another victim who died in that shooting will be laid to rest on Saturday. The suspect will remain in custody pending his next court appearance. Calvin Rudla, SABC News, Johannesburg.
To the Western Cape now, where National Coloured Congress leader Fidel Adams has laid a criminal complaint against National Police Commissioner General Fani Masemola at the Cape Town Central Police Station. He says this is in relation to the information that he has received that Masemola has allegedly employed family members in his office without following the necessary processes, and some of the alleged family members do not meet the criteria for their jobs.
NCC leader Fidel Adams is taking aim at National Police Commissioner General Fani Masemola. He alleges that Masemola has established a network of patronage in his office, which includes the alleged employment of his daughter, daughter-in-law, and partner, amongst others.
Our sources say that this information is very, very reliable. This is why we've opened a criminal case, and we've asked that this issue be transferred to the anti-corruption unit in Pretoria, and they will finish the investigation, and a prosecutor will decide if we're taking this thing to court.
Adams has called on Masemola to come out and deny these allegations. He says these allegations cannot be referred to the Public Service Commission, nor are they a human resource issue.
It cannot be an HR matter if it keeps on happening. That tells me that HR is compromised, that HR is captured and controlled. How do you get 6 of your family members and an alleged girlfriend into high positions, some of them with no experience?
Earlier this week, Adams also laid a perjury charge against KZN Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi.
The National Commissioner is the one that is the buck stops with him. He's the accounting officer for the SABC. If his underlings are buying Lamborghinis, hotels and going on holidays overseas without tax money, he's the one signing it off. He's the one implicated.
Ulelani Philip, SABC News, Cape Town.
SABC, host broadcaster of the G20 South Africa 2025.
In sports news tonight, we start with some cricket action. Embracing the nerves and trusting the process is the advice of coach Mandla Mashimbi will be giving his charges ahead of the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup final on Sunday. South Africa will face off against hosts and 2-time runners-up India at a packed DY Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai.
The Proteas will contest their maiden ODI World Cup final in Navi Mumbai on Sunday, where a first-time champion will be crowned. Naturally, in a game of this magnitude, there will be nerves. And for coach Mandla Mashimbi, the next few days will be about keeping his team calm and collected.
Nerves are something that it's innate with us as beings. But I think what we need to do and make sure that we do is understanding that nerves are our ally, not our enemy. It's important that you actually do get the nerves because it shows that you care.
The excitement in the camp is tangible, but Mashimbi is adamant that they will need to keep their feet firmly on the ground.
And I think the best that we can do is to make sure that we're nice and consistent and disciplined within those processes. And those processes are basically designed to keep us in the moment. In the best of times or most of the time, and then I know that if we can control those controllables, we give ourselves the best chance to actually win the match.
India and South Africa have played each other 34 times in one-day internationals. India have won 20 of those, while South Africa were victorious 13 times, most recently at this World Cup 3 weeks ago. Samantha Mari, SABC News.
For some rugby actions, South Africa no longer regard Japan as a Tier 2 rugby nation and approach Saturday's test match at the Wembley Stadium with caution and respect for the opposition. The Brave Blossoms have beaten major rugby playing nations in recent years, including the Springboks at the 2015 World Cup in the United Kingdom, and high-risk rugby is therefore not considered an option.
They've got players that are dangerous to punish you. So the key thing for us, irrespective of the conditions, the chances that it might also rain and be wet. So once again, I think the key thing for us is to make sure that we've got a good foundation when it comes to our set pieces and also playing in the right areas. That's going to be our main focus, because of, once again, if you look back again, 2019, what these guys have achieved, they beat teams like Ireland when they're playing at home. They beat Scotland. I don't want to go too far on 2015 of what happened, when they played against us. But I know one thing for sure, because of Eddie Jones is there as a coach, they will also draw inspiration from that game. They will talk about it probably the whole week. But once again, for us, it's all about what we can achieve tomorrow. So if we can start well and put them under pressure, more especially with our set pieces, I think we'll probably have a good chance to maybe get good results at the end of the day.
Well, that's it from us for tonight. Much gratitude for joining us. The latest weather forecast is up next. From myself, Paulette Nell, and the team, it's good night. God bless. Pula.
Thank you very much and a very warm welcome to the Weather Desk. Time for us to look at those conditions over the country. We're going to look at what's happening for tonight. It is quite a rainy day over most of the country. We are predicting a 60% chance of showers and thunder showers over most of the central parts of the country, stretching all the way into the Eastern Cape. Just isolated over Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and also KwaZulu-Natal. We do expect a cold front over Cape Town tonight. Ahead of the cold front, we're expecting tight gradients. As a result, we're expecting some strong winds over that coast over the Western Cape. For tomorrow, we expect that cold front to brush the southern parts of the country, causing some rainy conditions over those areas and also dropping temperatures significantly. But we're still expecting this 60% chance of showers and thunder showers for tomorrow, now over Gauteng, stretching to parts of Limpopo, the northwest all the way into KwaZulu-Natal, where we're also expecting some morning fog patches for tomorrow, so visibility can be reduced over that interior of KwaZulu-Natal. For tonight, it is a level 4 warning of severe thunderstorm over the Free State, stretching into that interior of the northwest Gauteng and also parts of the Northern Cape. Level 2 warning of severe thunderstorm as we move towards the Eastern Cape. But as we move towards the coast, we did talk about that cold front that is expected over Cape Town, and ahead of it, level 2 warning of some damaging winds, meaning it will be difficult to navigate at sea for tonight. Severe thunderstorms as we move towards that interior of KwaZulu-Natal. It is just a level 1 for tonight. For tomorrow, level 2 warning of severe thunderstorm over KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, parts of Gauteng, and also the northwest, and also still experiencing some hot and dry conditions over that interior of the Northern Cape. As a result, we do expect some runaway fire conditions over those areas. Overnight temperatures, it is going to be a cool night over most of the country, but it will be cold as we move towards Springbok, Calvinia, and also Sandland, where Sandland dropping down to 6. The mother city dropping to 13-20 over Musina. Maximum temperatures for tomorrow, we are still expecting cool conditions as we move towards the southern parts of the country. That is because of that cold front that we talked about that will be branching the southern parts of the country. Moving into the interior, it is quite a warm day tomorrow, especially over Johannesburg with a high of 26. Quite hot as we move towards parts of Limpopo, especially as we move into Musina and also Palabra. We're expecting an average of 36. That's all the weather I have for you. Stay tuned.